Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your co-host Cicely,
I'm your host Tatum.
and today we're talking about The Woman in Black. It came out in 2012. It's rated PG-13. It's an hour and 35 minutes long. It got a 6.4 on IMDb. A young solicitor travels to a remote village where he discovers that the vengeful ghost of a scorned woman is terrorizing the locals.
And sorry we missed last week. Cicely got teeth ripped out of her head and I got a root canal, so we were kind of a little busy.
I got my wisdom teeth pulled and now I'm stupid.
Yeah, now she's stupid. They pulled all the smart out of her head. But now we're back with The Woman in Black like we were going to try to do last week, but we're doing it now, so sorry about that, and thanks for sticking around if you're listening.
If you're listening, hello all four of you.
Most likely all four of you. So, to start, I liked the unsettling and creepy opening of the movie.
Oh yeah.
It was like in watching those girls like jump out the window and stuff, and it was very unsettling.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like your normal intro to a movie.
No, as soon as it started, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was like,
Okay.
This is gonna be
a weird one.
Yeah, this is gonna be a weird one, creepy one. And then it showed the overdue payments, and it had mentioned that the mom passed away, so there's obviously some sort of hardship that the family has, and it established that pretty quickly. That there's some sort of family problems.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he can't make the payments, he hasn't been at work, and the mom passed away, he has a new baby, and he's basically by himself. Which sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah. But to make the problems even worse, he goes to his boss, and his boss tells him that he might lose his job because he hasn't been there due to his wife passing away, which...
Come on.
That makes sense.
Cut the
But
guy
he's
some
like,
slack.
If you don't, get better at your job or whatever. He was like not as good or not as passionate or whatever.
Yeah.
Which understandable. Yeah, it's understandable. But he's like, we might have to, fire you. And he's like, all right, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then he had a nightmare about the wife, so we kind of see like what happened.
Yeah.
And we also see that he's clearly deeply traumatized by his wife's death, which once again is also understandable. But then he gets this job, and he goes to the town and into the inn, and they say they have no room for him. When his boss set up a room already, that he was going to stay there. So it was like, well, which is it? Are you trying to get him not to stay there, or do you not actually have a room? Because it looked like there was like 3 people in
this giant place.
Yeah, so I don't know, it just seemed weird at that moment. And then, yeah, everyone's just acting so weird towards him. They were like barely looking at him or giving him weird looks when they would look at him, and everyone's just so weird. We obviously don't know why at this point in the movie, but it's like, cut bro some slack. It's not like he desperately wants to be there or anything.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm going on vacation and I'm going to this house and I'm going to look through papers. Like, he has to be there, so kicking him out's not going to do anything. If it was like a vacation type thing, that would make sense.
Yeah,
but like,
it's work.
It's work. He has to be there. He has literally no choice. So, but they're also trying to get rid of him. Like, every turn was like, oh, you need to get out of here because you shouldn't go to that house. We don't have a room for you. No one wants you here. And here, I did all this work for you already. And he's like, well, I need to go through everything, not just what you say is there. You know what I mean? I have to go through every scrap of paper in that house. Attic to basement, everything.
Oh, that would suck.
I know. Every little piece of paper. You know how many probably kid drawings that were in there?
Dude.
It was a family house. He had to go through every single piece of paper. And then he eventually ends up getting to the house, which is good for him because he needs to do this job and needs to get it done. And he wants to get it done by Friday because his kid's coming. But he gets to the house, and it looks like fairly normal from the outside until you go inside and there's just a woman standing behind him. I liked the eerie factor of the woman. It's like for the majority of the movie she's just kind of in the background. She's not like the typical haunting following you type thing, and like
I feel like you can miss her if you don't.
if you're not paying attention.
If
like
you
she's
don't
in
know,
that corner over there in that
why did
dark
I look?
she's in that corner over there in the dark area of the house.
Yeah.
But if you don't look in that specific part, you won't see her.
You might miss her, yeah.
And then he starts hearing like screaming and voices everywhere. So he's like investigating where all these voices and stuff are coming from, which I get, like him wanting to know. But it's like these people are acting weird and asking you not to go to the house, and you're just investigating these screams and shit, and you're by yourself. Sorry, but that wouldn't be me.
Sorry, but not me.
I'm not going around looking through the forest and a graveyard looking for screams and people talking. You know, that's not my vibe.
You.
I'll look from the window, and if I don't see anything, it's probably just ghosts or something. I'll just stay here.
I'll just sit right here.
I'll leave them alone. They're probably just playing.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes back to the town, and he goes into the sheriff place or whatever, the consul, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to the dude, and he's like, "Hey, I saw a woman up there. Like, I saw something. It was weird." But all of a sudden, this little girl and these two little boys come in, and she apparently drank some drink or something, and she died in his arms. Like, that's terrible. And I wasn't expecting.
Could you imagine?
No, I don't want to imagine. But
when I saw that, I was like, "Damn."
She drank some sort of drink that, was poisonous or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it was just the look on his face when he realized, like, when they told him, like, she drank whatever it was, I forget the name, and he's just like, fuck, no, that's not good.
Like, he was like, is she gonna die?
Yeah, sorry. She is.
Yep.
Sorry to tell you, but yeah, she's dead, and dies seconds later. And didn't he see the woman after she died?
I think so. Yeah.
She was in the sheriff place, or in the background, yeah. And then Daly, the guy who was friends with the main character, I forget his name. Arthur, was it? Who's the guy who's being nice to him. Daly, he apparently lost a son, and I don't think they talk about how yet.
Not at this point.
No, I didn't think so. But then they're having dinner. He's like, if you can avoid bringing it up, let's not talk about children.
At all.
The first thing she asked was like, "Hey, you have any kids?" He's like, "Yeah, I have a son." Like, I can't lie because I'm bringing my son here tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's kind of hard to lie.
Yeah.
About.
So he kind of had to just do it. But then the crazy part for me was the wife carving into the table.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
It started to get real.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of went a little crazy there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she's taking medication or whatever,
Whatever you call that. It was a cloth.
It was chloroform.
Yeah.
To make her pass out, but I guess she takes like, I don't know what it would have been back then, but
Joe pills?
Yeah, basically. But back then it was probably like morphine or something. Who
Yeah.
knows? Yeah, that's when it started to get real super creepy. Apart from the woman being in the background and killing children, apparently. But then the next day, and he stayed at the house, and Daly is giving him a ride to, like, back to the house, and all the people are blocking the street, and they're blaming him. Like, it's your fault my daughter died. Well, no. You weren't there paying attention to what she was drinking. Is what killed her. Like,
come on.
How the hell did she get this poison?
They just ran out to him.
Right.
Help.
Yeah. But they apparently blamed him because he went up to the house and saw the woman. Which kind of seems stupid to blame him, and it's not like he has a job to do, like we already established, you know. Just saying it's his fault for the girl dying doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, not at all.
But yeah, he starts hearing and seeing things now inside the house. Well, after Daly pretended like he was gonna make him leave, and then just tried, almost ran him over. But yeah, he starts hearing and seeing things in the house, and it's not exactly what's the word, like, pleasant place to be at the moment. It's pretty creepy at this point, especially when you're hearing and seeing things all night.
I'd be out of there.
And he was trying to stay up all night and work on the stuff because he needed to get it done before his boy and nanny showed up, which makes sense, but I'm sure it's probably worse the later in the night it gets. And then the gravestone, he was looking at the gravestones, which was pretty creepy because of like he was looking at the gravestones, and he was obviously still hearing and seeing things, and he was almost being chased down by the woman, it seemed, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, she was coming after him.
It's hard to kind of explain like what that scene is like, because it's just creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being in a graveyard at some random house. In by itself, even. Like, it's a little island, basically.
Yeah.
And everyone's telling you not to go there because it's haunted. And...
Okay, so then guess what? I'm not going.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm not going.
Sorry, I'm just gonna quit.
I give up.
But then he sees the woman in the window. It was...
Lovely.
Yummy. Didn't he see the handprint first? And then saw her face, which was...
Would have shit my pants.
Surprised he didn't.
Would have pooped my panties.
And then he finds the mother's letters saying, like, you're never gonna take my kids away from me or whatever, and I'm never gonna forgive you, stuff like that. And it's like, well, obviously something happened.
That was very
like
sneaky.
Between the parents themselves, in order for them to clearly not be together anymore. And something happened again afterwards because, the son passed away in that carriage accident or whatever. And
oh, yeah.
she was blaming the father or whatever, saying, you just left him there. Which, I mean, I get it. Like,
yeah.
I would have been diving down to find him somewhere down the... I don't care how... I would drown before...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
We don't see the dad at any point in the movie either.
Yeah, no, he's not in it at all.
No. But, the doors open and the chairs are rocking. Well, the one chair. But the door opens to the, playroom or the kids' room or whatever in a really creepy way. Like, he went upstairs because he heard noises, like the chair rocking. And he goes and tries the door. It's locked. He turns around, goes downstairs, and comes up with an axe to break the doorknob. Guess what? Door's open.
Yep. Could you imagine?
I'd be wanting to go out the front door, not go
Yeah.
in the door that just opened.
Yeah.
You know?
Voluntarily.
Right. But then he walks in there, stupidly, walks in there, and he sees the chair rocking. And that's what the noise was. And it just won't stop. Like, there's someone in there, like, rocking back and forth the whole time. And, he walks over and he grabs the chair and it finally stops. But that's when weird things start happening in the room, like toys are playing and...
Yeah, the windy toys.
The windy toys,
No,
yeah.
thanks.
That seems like the very moment that I definitely would have been running out the front door.
Oh, I would have been gone a long time ago, yeah.
And he leaves the room. I don't remember what he went to get. Maybe... I don't know. I don't remember. But he went in again with all these wind-up toys going and everything. And didn't he see the little boy come crawling out of the water
Yeah.
at this point? And that was just probably for me the creepiest part of the movie, was watching the boy crawl out of the water,
That
out
was
of
the
the marsh
creepiest
like
part
it.
for you?
Like, wasn't it?
I think when all the toys were going at the same time.
Okay.
That got me.
But the little boy just coming crawling out of the water and walking to the front of the house and like beating on the door, and he opens the door and he
Ugh.
was just gone.
No thanks.
Yeah, no thanks. But then he saw the spirits outside. He opened the front door and walked out to see, who was out there, but he saw a bunch of dead kid ghosts in the woods.
I'd be like, am I tripping right now?
Probably.
Am I tripping right now?
Maybe. But
Is this
no, like that
serious?
would have been an immediately I need to leave now
I'm
moment.
gone.
And,
Consider me gone.
Yeah, consider me gone. And then he ends up getting locked in the room with the toys and everything, the original room that he was in, which is not a very enjoyable experience, I would say.
Oh no.
And then he finally gets to head back into town with Daly. And when they get there, there's a building on fire. Because apparently it's because he saw her again. And
She's wreaking havoc.
Yeah, and she's wreaking havoc, but he tries to run in there and save the little girl that was locked down in the basement, and she ends up lighting herself on fire under the Woman in Black's influence. But everything's just going wrong for him this whole movie,
Oh yeah, he's got some bad luck.
from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was no moment in this movie that he had something go his way. And then he had this idea that if he reunited the son's body with the mom, that everything would, stop and go back to normal. And he's going into the marsh. He's tying a rope on him, but also he ties it to the carriage that sunk to Daly's car. And they're going to pull it out to get the body out of there.
That's
so they can
insane.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me that that not only they did it, but they had the idea
to do it, and then they went through with it, no
and they
thanks.
touched the body and everything.
Disgusting.
But they found the boy in the carriage, still,
Sort of intact.
yeah, pretty much
Probably because he was in that.
marsh, and it was
Marsh,
basically like cement rather than,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? There's
Like
probably
wet cement.
yeah, there wasn't any fish in there,
It looked like black wet cement.
right?
Nothing could live in there.
But he found the boy, so that's at least kind of positive,
Yeah.
right? But then he, Daly, this part's kind of hard to explain. Daly sees his son, which apparently kind of confirms that the woman in black killed him, because the ghost children that you see in the movie are all victims of the woman in black.
Is that what you think about the movie, Matthew?
Is that what you think?
You're so smart. He watched it too.
Is that what you think?
What's your review? Go ahead.
Tell them. Tell the people that are listening.
What do you say?
What do you think?
Oh.
Yeah. That's what you think?
He's so smart. He's so educated.
But Daly tries to follow his son, and it doesn't end up working out so well. He gets locked in the room, and the son disappears. I feel bad for him, because he was nice the whole movie, and he kind of gets tortured too.
Yeah, I did feel bad for him as well.
But then, you know, the main character, who I think you said was Arthur?
I believe that
Arthur
was his
Kipps.
name. I think so.
Yeah, that's it. He's trying to help the woman. He took the boy's body into his room and laid him on the bed, and he winded up his toys, and he's trying to call her into the room and be like, hey, here's your boy's body, and I know you've been looking for it for a long time.
So maybe this will make you feel a little better. What do you think?
No, it didn't. It didn't work.
I said look.
And it didn't work. It did. Like, it made the haunting at the house for that moment stop. But it didn't really work towards the end of the movie, did it, Matthew?
He said no.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And so we think we're getting the happy ending, right? And we think that it's all over and we're done with, and we're, you know, just heading on out of here. Well, at the last second of the movie, Joseph, Arthur's son, decides to walk out into the middle of the tracks. Which is not
not a good idea.
No. And apparently he was being influenced by the woman in black. Even after, you know, Arthur helping him, right?
Yeah.
And he runs after him, and he jumps down into the tracks to save him. But the ending is that apparently he didn't save him in time. Sad. They both get smacked by the train. But kind of like a bittersweet moment is that, yes, Arthur and Joseph died by getting hit by the train, but they look off into the distance and there's the wife and mom.
Yes.
So finally Arthur is reunited with his wife, and Joseph is reunited with his mother.
So they're all together again.
So in reality, it kind of is a happy ending.
Yeah, if you think about it that way.
Yeah. And you can kind of see the look on the woman in black's face. By just looking at her face, she was like, oh, maybe, you know, it's time for me to stop doing this. It kind of looked like that moment changed her. Wow, he was walking off with his wife, because that's pretty much all he really wanted.
Yeah.
Was to be with her. So, I actually give this a higher score. I think it was like at least a 7.5.
I was gonna say 7.
It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I do not remember what I watched it on. Do you?
Prime.
Was it on Prime?
It's on Prime.
So if you want to watch it and check it out,
if you want to watch it,
it's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
But yeah, I actually really enjoyed it, and I thought, you know, Daniel Radcliffe did a great job.
Oh yeah.
And this was his. I don't know if I wrote it down or anything, but this was his. Oh yeah, I did write it down as a fear fact that this is his first movie after Harry Potter.
Oh, nice. I was wondering, because it is 2012. I didn't realize how old this movie was.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, because he still looks the same.
Yeah, he looks the same.
But I got some fear facts here, even though I gave you one already.
Okay.
Joseph is actually Daniel's real life godson.
Oh wow.
So the comfortability and the relationship between the two of
real.
them is already real because they've known each other a long time. That's his actual godson. The toys in the bedroom were actually real antiques.
Ugh.
They were donated, not donated,
They're
but like
disgusting, by the way.
they were like lent to the production crew by an avid collector of antique toys.
Damn. That clown was nasty.
Yeah, it was weird. But stuff like that, when like actual collectors, or in the case of the example I'm giving is a museum, lends something special to a movie, it always freaks me out because of Kurt Russell
Yeah.
in Hateful Eight. Did you hear about that? And he
Uh-huh.
smashes that really old guitar, and it was the real guitar.
That's awful.
Yeah. But yeah, you can never know like what might accidentally happen.
Oh yeah, you're risking it when you do stuff like that.
Yeah. But for the next one, this is the biggest grossing British horror in 20 years.
Oh wow.
Which kind of makes you think, like, how many British horror movies are there? You know what I mean? But this one, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was worth, below a 7.
No, I don't think so either.
So Arthur was played by Daniel Radcliffe. So this is technically a remake,
Uh-huh.
and Arthur is actually played by Daniel Radcliffe in this one. But in the original,
Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
It's crazy. In the
liked that
original, it was actually played by the guy who was Harry Potter's dad.
Oh wow.
So Harry Potter's dad played Arthur in the original,
Oh,
then
cool.
played Harry Potter's dad with Daniel Radcliffe, and then Daniel Radcliffe played Arthur Kipps in this one.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Matthew?
You were so smart.
He knew that already.
He actually said he knew that.
Yeah, he knew that.
Sorry, we don't mean to bore you with these
I know.
fear
I
facts.
know you know these facts already.
He's so smart.
Yes, and the next one, the first film after Harry Potter. But for the final fear fact is that this movie was actually shot in 3 months,
Really?
which seems kind of crazy for all the... Well, I mean, it's not like they had a ton of locations. They had the village, the inn, the train station, and the mansion. So, and I guess Daly's house and stuff, but it's not like they had 80 different locations in the entire state to go to for the movie. So that makes it a little easier, but having this movie shot within 3 months is pretty impressive. Yeah. Pretty cool. But what's our question for next week?
Well, we'll read the answer first. I didn't do that yet.
Oh, I thought you did that at
No,
the beginning.
I missed it.
Okay.
In the 2009 film Paranormal Activity, what object did the spirits use to communicate with the living? Answer. Ouija board.
Ouija board.
Ouija board.
If you got that, good job. If not, better luck next time.
Lol.
Lol. And now, next week's question, Matthew.
Next week's question. Go ahead, Matthew. Read it. Okay, I'll help you. At the end of the 2001 film The Others, what did the mother, Grace, figure out about herself and her children?
If you
I've
know
never
that
seen
one.
that. Have you
What?
seen that?
The Others? No.
Yeah.
So if you know the answer, put it on the Facebook, and we'll shout you out on next week's episode. And if you don't, just wait until the next question, see if you can get that one. Sis, what is our next movie that we're doing?
Terrifier 2.
Oh, it's about time, because it's coming up on when the Terrifier 3 is going to be coming out.
No, they're coming out with a third.
Yeah. Coming out on...
I don't want to watch it.
I think it's coming out on Christmas? Or
Disgusting.
December at some point, I think.
Disgusting.
But, Yeah, our next week's movie is Terrifier 2. And we will catch you next week with that movie. So hopefully you'll tune in for the second installment since we did the first one already. So we'll catch you next week.
Thanks for letting Matthew join us as well. He's a really good co-host, in my opinion.
Yep.
Hope you guys think so too. Thank you. Catch you later.